a bit of a delay, so I'm gonna ask that we please sit down. I appreciate that very much. We had a bit of a delay. 277 construction is certainly the cause. I apologize. All right, take two. Let's try this again. Here we go. Would everyone please rise for the presentation of colors? Texas 2012-2 Air Force Junior ROTC Color Guard from CC Winn High School. At this time, I would like to call up Ms. Bianca Martinez to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. To lead us in invocation tonight, I'd like to call up Ms. Belinda Martinez.
Bow your heads if you wish. Holy God, you give our sons and daughters the ability to acquire knowledge, and you rejoice when they gain true wisdom. I ask that we might know the blessing of your presence here this afternoon as we honor these young scholars. Amen.
Thank you, Belinda. You may be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2019 CC Winn High School Scholarship Awards Night. I want to welcome friends, family, our guests, our distinguished guests, and it's really a special night and certainly very worthwhile in what we're celebrating here tonight. We're celebrating the successes of our kids, and I don't think anything goes beyond that. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our contributors for making this event possible, and to the recipients behind me. I would also like to take this opportunity to wish you nothing but the best on the next chapter of your academic career. As a reminder, please, recipients, do not forget to send a thank you note to our awesome contributors who have played a part in accomplishing your future endeavors. The little things do make a big difference, so a thank you note certainly goes a long way. I want to take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about, why we're here and the importance of being here. And the question is, the moving on to the next chapter of our kids' academic careers. And all these kids behind me aspire to be successful. And the question that I want to present to you is, how do you become successful? What does it take to be successful? And I think if you surround yourself with any successful person, or you surround yourself with great people, they can tell you that it starts with a powerful mindset. Have a powerful mindset in whatever you choose to do. Be relentless. Be relentless in the goals that you set, because life is hard. College is hard. But there's no doubt in my mind and in our administration, teachers, and support staff minds that you will get it done, without a doubt. Any person that chooses to be successful or sets their sights to be successful must have a vision. You got to have a vision and what you want to accomplish. And in order for that to happen, you got to make some very, very difficult choices. And you're going to come across some choices in your life and in your college career where you're going to have to make some decisions that might affect you in a positive way and might affect you in a negative way. And if you talk to any successful person, or you read any biography of a successful person, I think you're going to read about the adversity that they had to overcome through your loyalty towards something, through your trust in your family, your friends, and your support system, and above all else, your commitment to succeed, and your commitment to be successful in life, to be a great pillar in the community that you choose to serve, and hopefully someday to be a great mom, to be a great dad, to be a great husband, to be a great wife. And those are things that are going to make you become successful. And that involves having a powerful mindset. And I'll leave you with this. Probably the most important ingredient in being successful, in my opinion, is being disciplined. You got to have the mental discipline to be successful, okay? Because there's going to be some days where there's something that you have to do. Can you make yourself, ladies and gentlemen, is the version of being successful and creating that roadmap to being a successful person. I want to applaud all of you, those of you that are receiving scholarships tonight. Make it worthwhile. Don't forget where you came from, and always bring a little bit back to our community, because this community, this school district, has treated you with a first-class education. Congratulations to our scholarship recipients. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge our distinguished guests tonight sitting here in the front row. I want to start off with our Eagle Pass Independent School District Board of Trustees, School Board President, Mr. Jorge Barrera. Vice President, Ms. Hilda Martinez. Secretary, Dr. Hector Alvarez. School Board Trustee, Ms. Lupita Fuentes. Trustee, Ms. Glenna Purcell. Trustee, Mr. Christopher Hiller. Trustee, Mr. Victor Perry. And we thank you, School Board, for your unwavering support in academics, athletics, everything involved to make Eagle Pass ISD first class. Thank you very much. From the District Service Center, and he's sitting directly behind me, our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Gilberto Gonzalez. Deputy Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mr. Samuel Mijares. Deputy Superintendent for Business and Finance, Mr. Ismael Mijares. Deputy Superintendent for District Operations, Mr. Rolando Salinas. Executive Director for Human Resources, Mr. Jesus Costilla. Executive Director for Instruction, Mr. David Camarillo. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call up our Superintendent of Schools for the Eagle Pass Independent School District, Mr. Gilberto Gonzalez.
Thank you, Coach. Buenas noches, bienvenidos a esta noche tan importante para ustedes como sus hijos, la noche de becas. Good evening, parents, students, board members, staff members, and most especially scholarship donors. We are here once again to applaud not only the scholars, but also the generous members of our community who without them tonight would not be possible. At this time, I would like to thank our community's gracious supporters for helping our students continue in their learning endeavors. You are certainly providing our students with a tremendous, tremendous opportunity to start on their college education. This time, would we please applaud all the scholarship donors. Class of 2019. That has a nice ring to it, right? Tonight is another senior year milestone on your way to graduation. You've gone through events such as cap and gown pictures, prom, and now scholarship night. These are just a few of the moments that have framed your senior year. This night is always one of my favorite events. Tonight is special because no matter what your future holds, it shows that your hometown supports you 100%. It is certainly important for each of you to remember that everyone here in this room is here by choice. They are here because EPISD has in some way impacted their lives. So in turn, they have decided to continue in our district and community's great tradition of giving. Class of 2019, you're all about to have a generosity bestowed upon you that only few get to receive. And for that, I know that you are thankful. Students, you are a great investment, and I ask each of you to remember this kindness that was given to you and to pay it forward. Always remember that someone gave you a great, great opportunity to succeed. Seniors, good luck in everything that you have planned for your future. I wish each of you great success and remind each of you, you will always have tremendous fans to support you here at EPISD. And I would be remiss if I did not end it with a quote, Dr. Alvarez. We cannot discover new oceans unless we have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Isaiah 43:19. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
At this time, I'd like to call our principal for CC Winn High School, Mr. Jesus Diaz Weber.
Thank you, Coach Villaseñor. You know, every year I have to decide who is going to be the master of ceremony. And this year I thought about football coach. He has been very instrumental in the lives of many students at CC Winn High School. And what a better choice to have as an MC, like somebody like Coach Villaseñor. So, Coach, thank you so much for what you do for our school. The main thing tonight is for our students to thank our contributors. I told them that we need to thank them for everything that they have done to make some monies available for you to go to college. Some of them had fundraisers, some of them, had to be asking everybody in the community, a lot of people. So they had to put some effort to get the monies for you to use. So we need to thank them for that. This year we do have 430 scholarships to give to 170 students tonight. And we have 142 contributors that will be giving $728,860. So that deserves a big round of applause. And let me tell you, it is not a competition how much money I am going to get versus my fellow classmates. Whatever you get is good. Even you can use it to buy a book. I wouldn't mind to be sitting where you are and get $200 or even $100. I don't get $100 for 2 hours sitting down. Okay? So that is something that we need to be very appreciative. So we're going to start with the program. And before I do that, I want to thank Superintendent Gonzalez for always putting a lot of good words to our students. And I know that he made a huge announcement last night. And I want to wish him the best of luck in his future retirement, Mr. Gonzalez. I know that this will be not your last one, scholarship night, because you need to attend tomorrow night for Eagle Pass High School. But you're always welcome to come to our scholarship night and graduation and so on. So the first contributor is Eagle Pass ISD Education Foundation, presenter Hilda Martinez Caballero. And the recipient is Jovita Aguilera. Stay. Next, we have the Superintendent Scholarship, presenter Gilberto Gonzalez, Superintendent of Schools. Recipient, Luis Ainsley. Also, Mr. Gonzalez will be presenting the Eagle Pass ISD District Service Center. Recipient, Jacqueline Zapata. Next, we have the Friendly Pharmacy. Presenter Hilda Martinez Caballero. Recipients Jose David Robles and Alexia Rosas. Next, we have the Longoria and Kelly PLLC. Presenter Glenna Purcell. And the recipients are Andrea Hernandez, Daniela Molina, and Orlando Molina. Thank you. Next, in memory of Alex and Lily Alvarez, presenter Dr. Hector Alvarez. Recipients Abigail Flores, Orlando Molina, Paulette Rios, Francisco Rivas. Thank you. Next, we have Samuel Mijares, Deputy Superintendent A. Rodriguez. Next, we have the CC Winn Police Department. Presenters, Officer Cuevas, Officer Martinez, Officer Botello, Officer Guevara, Officer Gonzalez, Officer Vicente, Officer Gomez, Officer Rodriguez, and Officer Mata. And the recipients are Giselle Del Rio, Tania Garcia, Briana Martinez, Daniela Molina, Sirena Montes, Suzette Montfort, Carlos Montoya, Paulette Rios, Francisco Rivas, and Armando Tijerina. Thank you, guys. Next, we have the U.S. Army Montgomery GI Bill Educational Benefit, presented Sergeant First Class Nunez and Sergeant Soto. And the recipients are David Gonzalez and Alejandro Robles. Next, we have the U.S. Marine Post 9/11 GI Bill. Present Staff Sergeant Jimenez and Sergeant Leal. And the recipients are Hector Navarrete and Victor Saldívar. Thank you. Next, we have the Jacob Daniel Hernandez Scholarship. Presenter Jose Hernandez, Gabriel Hernandez, and Maribel Hernandez. Recipients are Anakin Anico, Hazel Castillo, Ángel García, Rodolfo Rodríguez, Giancarlo Rubio, Eric Tarín, Germán Velázquez, and Fátima Zavala. Thank you. Next, we have La Guadalupana Primary Care, presenter Edward Luis Garza. Recipients Luis Ainsley, Claudia Contreras, Ashley Cruz, Abigail Flores, Mayra Garza, Belinda Martinez, Paulette Rios, Jose David Robles, Greg Romero, and Alexia Rosas. Thank you. Next, we have Eagle Pass Cleaners, presenter Juan and Andrea Espinosa. Recipients Rosa María González and Fátima Zavala. Next, we have the Pan American Roundtable of Eagle Pass, presenter Rua Seth, Dora Lipson, Isela Valderrama, Juan Villanueva, and Ms. Garcia. And Lana Harper. The recipients are Luis Ainsley, Claudia Contreras, Adolfo Jimenez, Jennifer Jimenez, Clarissa Melchor, Daniela Molina, Orlando Molina, Suzette Montfort, and Ashley Nandine Treviño. So you're okay, Luis. Thank you very much. Next, we have Texas State University Eagle Pass alumni presenter Enrique Montalvo. Recipients Brandon Guerra and Arleth Herrera. Thank you. Next, we have the Falcon International Bank presenter Loris Tovar. Recipient Michael Chavarria. Thank you. Next, we have the Language Development Center, LDC, presenter Rosela Even, Diana Fuentes, Claudia Becerra, Luz Estrada. And the recipients are Ariana Barrientos and Ruben Estrada, Jr. Thank you.
Thank you. In memory of Jose Guerra, we have Ms. Lisa Reese, and the recipient is Elizabeth Luna. Next, we have the Antonio R. Sanchez Memorial Scholarship presented by Fernando Garza, Jr. The recipient is Adolfo Jimenez. Next, we have the Normandy Gypsy Motor Club, presented by Henry Rodriguez, Patty Garza, Aureliano Contreras, Gavino Hernandez, Raúl Rodriguez, Sergio Pérez, and Juan Polanco. The recipients are Claudia Contreras, Mayra Garza, and Viviana Venegas. Thank you. Next, we have Jesse Rodriguez and Modern Wordman Scholarship presented by Mr. Jesse Rodriguez. The recipient is Francisco Gomez. Thank you. Now we have in memory of Herminia Macias Scholarship presented by Ms. Sandra Flores. The recipients are Noelia Flores and Greg Romero. Thank you. The CC Winn English Department Scholarship, presented by the CC Winn English Department. The recipients are Jovita Aguilera, Claudia Contreras, Tiffany Diaz, Karina Galván, Francisco Gómez, Jesús Hernández, Brandon Martínez, Carlos Miranda, Sirena Montes, Joanna Padilla, Sandy Rodriguez, and Germán Velázquez. Thank you. For Modern Woodman of America Scholarship, the presenter, Mr. Jesse Rodriguez. He's backstage over there. The recipients, let's wait for Mr. There, he's coming. Mr. Jesse Rodriguez will be presenting to Julissa Escamilla, Brianna Martinez, Sandy Rodriguez, and Giancarlo Rubio. Thank you. The Maverick County Junior Livestock Show Association Scholarship, presented by Mr. Tim Hart and Laura Cárdenas. The recipients are Jesus de la Garza Jr., Daniela Molina, and Orlando Molina. Thank you. Next, we have the Rosita Valley Elementary Roadrunner Scholarship, presented by Mrs. Cynthia Guedea and Diana Alvarado. The recipients are Karina Galván, Cristela Marquez, Jennifer Martinez, Daniela Molina, and Angela Núñez Suki. Thank you. Next, we have Jose G. Contreras Memorial Scholarship, presented by Camarillo and Contreras family. The recipients are Claudia Contreras, Tiffany Diaz, and Victor Solis. Thank you. Next, we have the Rolly Reese Jr. number 8 Live Your Dream Scholarship, presented by Rolly, Claudia, Julio, Bianca Reese, and Arturo Coronado. The recipients are Brandon Lee Betancourt, Miguel de los Santos II, Giselle del Rio, Tiffany Diaz, Andrea Estrada, Mayra Garza, Diego Ibarra, Adolfo Jimenez, Rolita Martinez, Justice Royce, Greg Romero, and Eric Tarin. Thank you. Next, we have Eagle Pass Chamber of Commerce Scholarship, presented by President William Billy Davis. The recipient for the Maria Riddle Scholarship is Lisbeth Perez, and the recipient for the Pedro Marquez Senior Scholarship is Adolfo Jimenez. Thank you. The Eagle Pass Rotary Club Jeremiah Gates Rhodes Scholarship, presented by Mr. William Davis. Mr. William Davis. He'll be presenting the other scholarship, Catherine Dees and Roshana Martinez. Thank you. Next, we have Maverick County Farm Bureau, presented by Ms. Azalia Cázares, Ernest Wiesty, and Victor Cruz. The Jerry Nolan Scholarship, the recipient is Daniela Molina, and the Maverick County Farm Bureau is Orlando Molina. Thank you. Next, we have the Maverick County Coahuila Texas A&M Club Scholarship, presented by Ms. Patty Flores and Ernest Weisty. The recipients are Tanya Garcia and Elizabeth Luna. Thank you. Next, we have the Arts Council Eagle Pass, presented by Mr. Adolfo Flores and Raul Perez, and maybe Mr. Billy Davis, if you could hear me. The recipient is Ana Laura de la Garza. Thank you. Next, we have In Memory of Armandina Cruz Scholarship, presented by Ms. Alejandra Cruz, Maria Cruz, and Humberto Cruz. The recipients are Gabriela Covarrubias and Jose David Robles. Thank you. Next, we have Golden Rule Technical Scholarship, presented by Ms. Patricia Sanchez and Ludivina Garcia. The recipient is Samantha Gonzalez. We do have another scholarship presented by Ms. Patricia Sanchez and Ludivina Garcia. The other recipients are Raul Chavez, Noelia Flores, Bianca Martinez, and Brandon Martinez. Thank you. Next, we have the CC Winn Math Department, presented by Ms. Patty Flores. The recipients are Raul Chavez and Isaac Covarrubias. Thank you. Next, we have Saida Benet Memorial, presented by Ms. Saida H. Polendo. The recipients are Domingo Duran Navarro, Isaac Garcia, Patricio Hernandez, and Germán Velázquez. Thank you. Next, we have Ancira Eagle Pass Scholarship, presented by Mr. Rodney Winn. The recipient is Jose Ojeda. Thank you. Next we have Knickerbocker, Heredia, and Salinas Scholarship, presented by Mr. Marco A. Salinas and Idalia Salinas. The recipients are Brandon Guerra, Rashana Martinez, Sandy Rodriguez, and Greg Romero. Thank you. Next, we have the Eagle Pass Evening Lions Club, presented by Rudy de la Garza, Jorge Villalpando, Moisés Rocha, Alex Flores, Lubito Pérez, Adrián Marínez, Amado Esqueda, Juan Espinosa, and Bobby Martinez. The recipients are Luis Ainsley, Claudia Contreras, Ana Laura de la Garza, Ulises Camilla, Olisa Garza Valdés, Arlet Herrera, Fernando Martínez, Daniela Molina, Orlando Molina, Ángela Núñez Zucchi, Paulette Rios, and Fernando Velázquez. Thank you. Next, we have the Memorial Junior High Scholarship, presented by Mr. Jose G. Hernandez, Jr. The recipient is Jose David Robles. Thank you. Next, we have the Texas A&M University Aggie Moms Club, Melba Alviso Scholarship, presented by Ms. Linda Molina, Rebecca Mancha, and Ivy Purcell. The recipients are Michael Chavarria, Tanya Garcia, and Elizabeth Luna. Thank you. Next, I'll present my colleague, Mr. Jorge Benavides, to present the next scholarships.
Thank you. Next, we have Eagle Pass Junior High Administration Teacher and Staff Scholarship Fund, presented by Mr. Mario Escobar. Recipient, Bianca Horta. Next, we have Sarita Tortilla Factory, presented by Saida Gonzalez and Chema Villarreal. Recipients are Carlos Frayet, Diana Villarreal, Brandon Villaseñor. Next, we have building partnerships in our community. Azalia Cáceres. Recipients are Orlando Molina, Lucero Ortega. Next, we have educational diagnostician presented by Luz Lozano, Marta de la Cruz. Recipients are Roberto Ramirez and Hector Reyes. Next, we have Alad Ramos, Make a Difference, presented by Raquel Rodriguez, Jose Ramos, Adal Ramos. Recipients are Sebastian Rodriguez. Next, we have Mr. Arturo P. Costilla Scholarship presented by Luz Luzano. Recipient, Daniela Molina. Next, we have CC Winn Lady Maverick Soccer, presented by Abel de los Santos Jr. Recipients are Giselle Del Rio, Andrea Estrada, Aralis Gonzalez, Ana Valeria Hinojosa Ramos, Odalis Martinez, Jocelyn Sanchez. Next, we have Christian Community Roca Firme, pastors presented by Pastors Gilberto and Belia Herrera, Daniel and Alma Palos. Recipients are Cristela Marquez, Carlos Montoya, Eliazar Ruiz, Eric Anthony Villarreal. Next, we have in loving memory of Rosalia Mancha, Rancho for Hermanas, presented by Paloma Rentanta Garcia Sualza. Sorry. Recipients are Daniela Molina. Next, we have Delta Kappa Gamma, presented by Veronica Chacon, Maria Chacon, Lana Harper, Diony Olivares. Recipient, Ulicia Escamilla. Next, we have Benavides Heights Elementary Bulldogs, presented by Olivia Garcia, Joe Negrete, Mari Carmen Rangel. Recipients are Jose Robles, Abigail Santana, Kareni Sepulveda. Next, we have Liberty Elementary, presented by Deanna Benencourt. And Azalia Cáceres. Recipients are Orlando Molina. Next, we have the L&L Paid Forward Scholarship presented by Alvaro Lopez and Sandra Lopez. Recipients are Noelia Flores, Adolfo Jimenez. Next, we have Eagle Pass TCTA, presented by President Maribel Garcia, Maricela Madera, Janely Fernandez. Recipients are Elea Ariano, Ariana Barrientos, Rodriguez Carrasco, Jacob Carizales, Raúl Chavez, Giselle Del Rio, Ulises Camilla, Alexis Esquivel, Sandy Rodriguez, Ruben Estrada Jr., Karina Galvan, Angela Hernandez, Jesus Hernandez, Brianna Martinez, Orlando Molina, Bianca Horta, and Chantel Reta, Alexia Rosas. Next, we have the Law Office of Andrea Cázares, presented by Alejandra Cázares. Recipient Greg Romero. Next, we have the Henry B. Gonzalez Bobcats, presented by Sonia Salinas. Recipient Jose Robles. Next, we have Andres and Guadalupe Cázares and family, presented by Alejandra Cázares. Recipient Orlando Molina. Next, we have the Maverick County Sheriff Department, presented by Sheriff Tom Smerber, Chief Deputy Robert De Leon. Recipients Stella De Leon, Maximiliano Garcia, Alejandro Parra. I'm sorry, excuse me, Alejandra Parra. Next, we have the Maverick Band Boosters, presented by Jesse Rodriguez, Veronica Rodriguez, Gloria N. Escamilla, Nora Menchaca. Recipients, Carolina Ramirez, Sandy Rodriguez. Next, we have Perfecto Mancha Elementary, presented by Julieta Rangel Miranda. Recipient Carlos Miranda. Next, we have Lily's Flower Shop, presented by Liliana Trevino. Recipient Noelia Flores. Next, we have Ladies Auxiliary Hospital Gift Shop, presented by Carolina Barrera, Cynthia Esparza, Rosa Castillo, Juanita Garcia. Recipients are Raul Chavez, Myra Garza, Belinda Martinez, Greg Romero, Alexia Rosas. Next, we have F. Raul Trevino, MBA, CPA, LLC, presented by Lilian Trevino. Recipient, David Valdolvinos. Our next announcer, CC Winn Instructional Officer, Ms. Melody Teal.
Next, we have the Lady Mavericks One Team, One Dream Scholarship, presented by Coach JJ Iracheta and Coach Jonathan Hernandez. Recipients, Sirena Montes and Kayla Cifuentes. Next, Graves Elementary, presented by Ivan Ibarra, Veronica Soto Gonzalez, and Susana Carrasco. Recipients, Rodrigo Carrasco and Corina Garcia. Thank you. Next, Islander Scholarship, presented by Janelle Fernandez and Citlali Cabañas. The recipient is Orlando Molina. Thank you. Next, we have the Maverick County Hospital District, presented by Alma Martinez and Aaron Valdez. The recipients are Myra Garza and Greg Romero. Thank you. Next, we have Early Childhood Center, presented by Linda Cabañas, Jesus Ubaye, Veronica Rodriguez, and Janelle Fernandez. The recipient is Yulisa Escamilla. Thank you. Next, we have Kids and Tots Unlimited Alumni, presented by Ivan Ibarra, Yati Garcia, Yvette Alvar, and Marcela Madera. The recipients are Raul Chavez, Noelia Flores, and Alexia Rosas. Thank you. Next, we have the Maverick County 4-H Club, presented by Oscar Galindo, Alex Flores, Leilani Martinez, Robert Martinez, Gerardo Galindo, and Katrina Besa. The recipients are Daniela Molina and Orlando Molina. Thank you. Next, we have Robert E. Lee Rebels. Oh, and the presenter is Yati Garcia. The recipients are Miguel de los Santos II, Leslie Fabella, and Lucero Ortega. Thank you. Next, we have the Eagle Pass Principals Association, presented by Sandra Lopez, Veronica Chacon, Laura Tellez, Cynthia Guedea, Jose Hernandez, Lisa Ruiz, and Joe Hernandez. The recipients are Jovita Aguilera and Luis Ainsley Jr. Thank you. Next, the Nellie Mae Glass Elementary Scholarship, presented by Laura Tellez. Recipient is Diego Ibarra. Thank you. Next, we have the Rio Grande Electric Co-op, presented by Adam Chapa. The recipients are Brianna Martinez and Fernando Velasquez. Thank you. Next, we have the GEO Group, presented by Marie Sotelo and Adam Martinez. Recipients are Hazel Castillo, Joanna Castillo, Isaac Rudias, forgive me, Katie Gonzalez, Carlos Miranda, and Sebastian Rodriguez. Thank you. Next is Eagle Pass Masonic Lodge number 626, presented by Skip Edwards, David Diaz, and Hector Reyna. Recipients are Samantha Gonzalez and Greg Romero. Thank you. Next, we have Kennedy Hall Tiny Hawks. Presenters Lisa Reese, Marcela Madera, Gracie Villalobos, and Mireya Felan. And the recipient is Andres Reese. Thank you. Next is CC Winn Foreign Language and Fine Arts Department, presented by Maribel Ramirez and Carlos Vela. So the recipient of the CC Winn Arts Scholarship is Amy Villagomez. Of the CC Winn French Scholarship is Karina Galvan. CC Winn Spanish is Jose David Robles. CC Winn Spanish is also Hugo Tavares Venegas. And then CC Winn Theater Arts is Ana Laura de la Garza. Thank you. Next, in memory of John Burns Sr. and Trinidad Nava, we have presented by Daniela, Jacqueline, and Colin Byrne. Recipients are Ana Laura de la Garza, Domingo Duran Navarro, Tanya Garcia, and Greg Romero. Thank you. Next, the Kickapoo Traditional Tribe of Texas, presented by the Tribal Education Division. The recipients are Anakin Anico, Olisa Garza Valdez, Armando Gonzalez Perez, Lori Namapi, Asael Rodriguez, and Jovan Salazar Flores. Thank you. Next, Magic Health and Fitness in memory of Edna Aguilera Valadez, presented by Maximus Galvan. The recipients are Karina Galvan, Adolfo Jimenez, Mariah Longoria, Cristela Marquez, Daniela Molina, Alex Morantes, Christopher Nieto, Angela Nunez-Suki, and Alexia Ortega. Thank you. Next, we have San Luis Cardinal, presented by Ms. Escareño and Ms. Agosto. The recipients are Elian Montemayor and Alexia Rosas. Thank you. Next, we have Eagle Pass Border Lions Club, presented by the president, Sara Flores, treasurer, Diana Jimenez, and Alma Martinez. The recipients are Francisco Rivas and Greg Romero. Next, we have Fidel Rodriguez Junior Memorial Scholarship, presented by Fidel Rodriguez and Ricardo Rodriguez. The recipients are Sebastian Chavez and Samantha Gonzalez. Next, VFW Post 8562, presented by Commander Diana Cruz, Sergeant Montañez, and Sergeant Gomez. The recipients are Rosa Maria Gonzalez and Amy Villagomez. Thank you. Next, we have Gomez, number 28, Live Your Life, No Regrets, presented by Raul Gomez and family. Recipients, Kayla Cifuentes and Jacqueline Zapata. Thank you. Next, Sesame Preschool, presented by Rudy and Elsa Villalpando. The recipient is Adolfo Jimenez. Thank you. Next, Maverick County Retired School Personnel Association, presented by Ronnie Cupuros and Alba Barrera. The recipient is Yulisa Escamilla. Thank you. Next, Eagle Pass Board of Realtors, presented by Sandra Zarate Rodriguez. Recipient, Nayeli Rodriguez. Thank you. Next, Affordable Pest Control, presented by Rito and Marvelia Flores. The recipients are Reyes Castillo, Jocelyn Contreras, Myra Garza, Francisco Gomez, and Suzette Montfort. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have the Elizondo Insurance Agency, Allstate Insurance, presented by Maria Elizondo. The recipients are Isaac Covarrubias, Carlos Freire, Kiana Martinez, and Andrea Hernandez. Thank you. Next, we have the RSSR Construction LLC, presented by Roberto Rodriguez. And the recipient is Sebastian Rodriguez. Thank you. Next, we have the class of 67, presented by Terry Moreno and Rudy Villalpando. The recipients are Jose de Luna and Dariela Hernandez. Thank you. Next, we have the Maverick 5K Run, presented by Tanya Tijerina, Mariana Uriegas, and Mia Uriegas. The recipients are Jovita Aguilera, Luis Ainsley, Javier Cerda, Raul Chavez, Jocelyn Contreras, Isaac Covarrubias, Ashley Cruz, Jose Cruz, Ana Laura de la Garza, Miguel de los Santos, Giselle Del Rio, Maria Duran, Yulisa Escamilla, Francisco Escobedo, Abigail Flores, Amanda Flores, Noelia Flores, Karina Galvan, Angel Garcia, Diana Garcia, Aralis Gonzalez, Brandon Guerra, Diego Ibarra, Salvador Lara, Benjamin Laredo, Elizabeth Luna, Belinda Martinez, Bianca Martinez, Brianna Martinez, Felix Martinez, Jamie Martinez, Carlos Miranda, Sirena Montes, Suzette Monfort, Paulette Rios, Alexia Rosas, Sandy Rodriguez, Sebastian Rodriguez, Justice Royce, Jan Rubio, Andres Ruiz, Kayla Cifuentes, Victor Solis, Emily Vasquez, German Velasquez, Amy Villagomez, Armando Villarreal, Moises Villarreal, and Brandon Villaseñor. Thank you. Next, we have the Eagle Pass Housing Authority employees, presented by Elisa Cano. Recipients, Isaac Covarrubias and Valeria Rodriguez. Thank you. And next we have Danny Medellin, Dream Big, Swing Big, presented by Yolanda, Lily, Mia Medellin. The recipients are Carlos Frere, Rashwana Martinez, Carlos Montoya, and Bianca Horta.
Next, we have our CC Winn administration. And the presenters will also be our CC Winn administration. And the recipient of that scholarship, Justice Royce.
Migrant presenter, migrant counselor, Ms. Ruby Perez. Inos and Sonia Vera. Our next contributor, Gonzalez. Thank you. CC Winn Migrant Counselor. Recipient, Melanie Martinez Rodriguez. Migrant Program Scholarship. Presenter, Ms. Ruby Perez. Recipients, Andres Valderas, Guillermo Betran, Jocelyn Contreras, Melanie Lopez, and Felix Martinez. Thank you. Our next contributor, Rolando Martinez Catering Services. Presenter, Ana M. Martinez. Recipient, Amy Villagomez. Thank you. Our next contributor, Johnson Garcia, LLP, Houston, Texas, attorney, William E. Mejia, presented by Margie and Juan Mejia. The recipient, Fatima Zavala. Thank you. Our next scholarship, contributor Will to Win, presented by Margie and Juan Mejia. The recipients are Luis Ainsley, Alex Brown, Giselle Del Rio, Jesus Eduardo Elizondo, Jose Guerrero Jr., Jorge Herrera, and Diego Ibarra. Thank you. Our next contributors, CC Winn Counseling Department, presented by the CC Winn counselors, Ms. Laura Sanchez, Tanya Tijerina, Ms. Margie Mejia, and Ms. Kimberly Ballesteros. Recipients, Giselle Del Rio and Cristina Jimenez. I'd like to add Ruby Perez, if she would please stand up and join us. Our next contributor, Alicia Delgado Salas Award. Recipients, Mariah Longoria and Zaira Sanchez. Thank you. Our next contributor, Alpha Box Nutrition. Recipient, Aralis Gonzalez. Thank you. Our next contributor, America Battelle Boutique Scholarship. Recipients, Brandon Guerra and Abigail Santana. Thank you. Our next contributor, Anonymous. Recipient, Jose Hinojosa. Thank you. Our next contributor, Balcones Heights Park, LP. Recipient, Hugo Taveres Venegas. Our next contributor, BBVA Compass Bank. Recipients, Sebastian Chavez, Paulette Rios. Powell Architecture. Recipient, Sergio Gonzalez Torres. Maria Gonzalez, Belinda Martinez, Ashley Nandine Trevino. Thank you. Our next contributor, Imagine America. Recipients, Dario Carrasco, Gilberto Monroy, and Roberto Ramirez. Thank you. Our next contributor, Joe Junfin, Junfin Farms. Recipient, Daniela Molina. Thank you. Our next contributor, John Powell Memorial. Recipient, Abigail Flores. Thank you. Our next contributor, Jorge Andrade, DBA Progreso U.S. Customs Brokers. The recipients are Tiffany Diaz, Myra Garza. Thank you. Our next contributor, La Cantera Real Estate. Recipients are Jesus de la Garza, Belinda Martinez, and Bianca Martinez. Thank you. Our next contributor, thank you. Our next contributor, Mata Cortez Law Firm. Recipients, Ana Laura de la Garza, Amy Villa Gomez. Thank you. Our next contributor, Maverick Arms Incorporated. Thank you. Our next contributor, Movelda E. Ryan Scholarship. Recipient, Lucero Ortega. Our next contributor, Oscar 12 and Kelsey 15 Ramirez, welcome to Aggieland. Recipient, Tanya Garcia. Our next contributor, Southwestern Medical Clinic. Recipient, Reyes Castillo. Our next contributor, the Terry Foundation. Recipient, Myra Garza. Our next contributor, the Jobson Group. Recipients, Daisy De Lara and Brittany Vargas. Our next contributor, the overall graduation office of Herf Jones. Recipients, Alonso Arellano, Emmanuel Martinez. Our next contributor, Vargas Hardware and Supply, Incorporated. Recipient, Suzette Montfort. Our next contributor, Victor Lopez, Texas A&M. Recipients, Abigail Flores, Tanya Garcia. Our next contributor, Victor Lopez, top 5%. Recipient, Luis Ainsley Jr.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. On behalf of CC Winn administration and staff, we want to congratulate the class of 2019, all the seniors here, congratulations, and the best of luck to all of you. Felicidades a los padres que vinieron esta noche a compartir este momento de graduación de nuestros estudiantes. Los esperamos ahí. Muchas gracias por haber venido. Thank you very much. Go Mavericks!